Now to the Noto. I'm going to zoom in here. A couple of different ways of doing Noto. Naturally, one thing to consider is, are you using a live sword? Okay, I'm using a live sword. I do whatever it is I'm doing, but it may not be for everybody. Regardless of the sword that you're using, if you're just starting, you need to make sure that you're getting this beginning part of the Noto correct. You want to hold your middle finger over the koiguchi, the opening in the saya, okay, like this. All right, and then this finger comes across. This is because if the sword hits the top of the koiguchi here, it's just going to slide around. Your finger, your index finger here, gives it something meaty to stick onto. Now it's not going to go anywhere. All right, in between your thumb and your finger here, okay, there's like a groove here. Okay, and then in between your thumb and your finger here, there's a groove. This thing slides in there just like a train track, okay, or a monorail. All right, and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so you're here. Sword comes to here, rests there, and then you slide the sword along your hand. Now, people mention, well, what about the tip of the sword cutting into your hand? This usually happens because you don't have the angle of your hand correct. Okay? As you're stretching this sword out, people tend to dip their hand forward. And both hands, you're dipping the front hand forward, and you're dipping the back hand forward, and you're doing this because it looks smooth and it's flowy, and you want it to, you want to become one with the universe. That's not it. Okay? It's here. Straight, straight, straight. Okay? Notice, the tip is not, if I have this correct, straight up and down, the tip does not come anywhere near my hand. Okay? It glides along the top there, right by my thumb. It just barely is touching it. But that's it. Now, once the sword gets into the hole, the koi means mouth. Guchi means mouth, koi means fish. So you're calling it a fish's mouth. Okay? Koiguchi here, the tip of the sword is in there, then the sword is placed there. Okay? So one more time. 1, 2, and 3. Again, your Noto is a major fingerprint. Okay, you shouldn't have to announce, my name is Rob Rivers. I represent this and that and this. My style is this. I'm going to perform. You shouldn't have to do that. As soon as somebody sees the way you draw, somebody sees the way you do your Chiburi, and somebody sees the way your Noto, they not only should be able to tell what sword style you're doing, but maybe even what branch of that sword style you're doing. Maybe even who your teacher is. So these are all, once we get past the direction that the sword takes to get in there, then you start getting into the stylistic differences. Okay? Are you going to bring the sword into the center before you put it away? Are you going to leave the hand off to the side when you do it? Are you going to more bring the saya to the handle, or are you going to bring the handle to the sword? These are all stylistic differences. Right? But one thing you won't see very often at all is, again, exposing targets. From the Chiburi, here, okay? Look at the steel in between me and my opponent. Very rarely are you going to see this. Okay? No matter how cool it looks, okay? You're not going to see that, okay? Because you're going to get your arm cut off. Okay? Here. Here. Everything's in front of your body here. Okay? Chiburi. Noto. Right? Now, you have what's called Habaki Noto, which is when I start this here. Okay? You're going to see some people have the blade edge up. Some people will bring this in so that the edge is out. And I've got the saya turned sideways and I bring it this way. All right? Again, stylistic differences. But where I put my hand on the sword, if it's at the habaki, you're going to see it as sort of a beginner's way of getting the swing of it. Okay? After that, you slowly, see now look where my hand is, it's about halfway up the blade. You're going to start working yourself further and further up the blade. Okay? Doing the blade at about the halfway point or at about where the monouchi is. The monouchi is the actual part of the sword that you cut with, about 6 to 9 inches here on the end. Okay? Monouchi noto, all right, for most people is saying, hey, I kind of know what I'm doing when I do this noto. Okay? There are even more advanced ways of doing it, but we're not going to get into that now. So here, okay, where it hits, okay, okay. In order to do that, watch my right hand. Okay, what you're seeing is my hand, which is controlling the handle of this weapon, is getting farther and farther away from my opponent. Okay, so the less I have to move that hand, the more technically advanced the kata is, because you're able to keep the sword closer to your opponent when you're doing it. Okay, this, okay, because the side is only going to come so far out of my belt. This is basic. This is a little bit more advanced. All right, and how smooth that happens. Okay. Notice my hand's not moving. Okay? I got lots of friends, lots of sensei. They don't like this. This is called fishing. Okay? They'll cut your finger off if they see you do this. Okay? Don't fish the blade into there. You'll cut your hand off, especially if you're using a sharp sword. Okay? Here. Okay? And that covers Chiburi and Noto.